All right, speed spray here. I got a video to show you. This is going to be an upgrade for a Dell Precision M4700 uh, mobile workstation. Basically, it's a laptop, but it's referred to as a mobile workstation. Uh, it's somewhat large, a little heavy, but it's basically a desktop computer that you can use, in different locations. You can easily carry it around with you, right? This is easier than carrying around a desktop computer. It's got the little latch here on the bottom. That's how you open it up. It's not the sleekest design, but it's sturdy. This particular one is nice and clean. Okay, this has the i5. Okay, and shows the Windows 7 badge. However, it has Windows 10 on it. We're also going to upgrade the hard drive. So we're going to take this from a Core i5 and we're going to make it into a Core i7. I'm going to explain a little bit of what's going on as we go along. This video may be a little dry, but hopefully you'll learn quite a bit in the process because there's more to it than just putting in a different CPU. And I'll explain quite a bit why, especially on this particular notebook, laptop, mobile workstation. So let's fire this up. Okay, now I'm going to plug it in. These don't run a real long time on battery. They're not designed to. They're basically designed to have a desktop performance that you can take from home to the office, from the office back to home, instead of lugging around a desktop computer. Okay, so as this comes up, this particular one, it has the Windows 10 on it. That one, this background isn't showing up real well on my somewhat low resolution webcam. So right there, it's complaining that we're not connected to the web. It doesn't matter. We don't need to be connected to the web right now. Yeah, the battery's got a decent charge in it, so I'm gonna unplug it for the moment. I'm going to go to power and sleep. Battery storage. Okay. Basically, I want to adjust the brightness. It's automatically dimmed because it's on battery power. So if I go into battery, I'm just looking to see if I can make this screen a little brighter. Power and sleep. I'm not going to bother if I can't find it in a second here. I'm going into battery. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time, such a problem seeing it, but maybe if I go into the battery icon. Yeah. Power mode for better performance. Anyway, let me go back so I can show you guys. Because I'm sure you don't want to just keep looking at the back of my head. I'm going to go into settings, system. Now I'm going to go down to about and show you, hopefully I can show you just what's in here. It's an i5 3320, 2.6 gigahertz, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Let's see if this shows on that camera. Now I can't tell I can't tell if you guys can read this or not. I'm just putting it up there. I can't really see, but I'm hoping you can read what's on that. Okay, so long and the short of it, let's got an i5 in here. Okay, and we're gonna bump it up to Windows 10, which it has, just nobody's changed that badge out. So let's get to the good part. Okay, shut this down. All right, shut down. Now once this shuts down, give it a second to completely shut down. It's dumping everything to the hard drive. And there it is. All right. Now, on these Precision M4600, Precision M4700s, what goes on here is there's a latch right here. You slide it over. Once you slide that over, you pull the battery right from that corner. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Now, to access the CPU, the memory, the hard drive, what we need to access, there's two screws, one right here and one right here. Those two screws need to come out. All right, so I'm going to take those two right out. Small Phillips head. I'll be using the flashlight somewhat too. Okay, I don't think this helps you guys to see too much. Let me try getting up here with the flashlight. There you go, you're getting some glare. When you pull the battery, you'll see the two screws that I'm referring to. So there's the first one. Here's the second one. This is one of the screws. So those are the size of the screws that are pulled out of here. Okay, now once those screws are pulled, you're gonna push. Okay, just push this away from where you pulled the screws, lift it off, and inside you're gonna see we got the CPU cooling fan. We've got your DVD burner, and in this case we have two 4 gig sticks of memory, and you have a second fan. Okay, so we're going to be upgrading this to 32 gigabytes of memory. Okay, so we're going to pull out these two 4 gigs. There's one. There's two. Okay. Now, here's the next part. We're gonna lift the keyboard out. We're gonna remove the keyboard. Now, we go back to the top, and there's a bezel right around the entire keyboard. We're gonna lift that bezel out. Okay, there's a bezel going right around the keyboard. We're gonna lift that out. So we got a pry tool, Start in on the edge of the bezel. Just go all the way around it. Just like that. You'll see I took that bezel off out around the outside edge, okay, which has exposed these screws that are at the bottom, at the lower edge of the keyboard. There's 4 screws that have to come out. All right, left to right. There's 1. 2. 3. And 4. There's 2 right above the touchpad, and there's 1 on each outside edge, left and right. Now I'm just going to lift this keyboard out from that bottom edge, pull it out from underneath. I pulled it out from underneath. Okay. Now I got two more memory module slots in here. Now there's something else I need to do though, other than just replacing the memory. This is the Dell cover that was protecting those 2 memory slots. Okay. Now I gotta take this keyboard out. This is one of those 0-force connectors that are never any fun to work with. All right, there's the keyboard out. There's the 0-force connector there. ZIF, 0 insertion force. ZIF. Okay. Now, this assembly is the palm rest, right? This whole assembly. We have to lift this off because our CPU is right in here underneath the palm rest, okay? So this is not one of the easiest CPUs to replace. So we're gonna disconnect all the screws on this that say P. Obviously the P is for the palm rest. There's a pretty decent amount of screws for the palm rest. And I definitely recommend having a magnetic screwdriver. And it's really not going to be easy to take these screws out. if you don't have a magnetized screwdriver. Now, I'm not going to count the exact number of screws at the moment, but I will at the end, and I can tell you the exact number. On the M4700, these palm rest screws are all the same size on the top. That, well, I take that back. Some are M2x3, some are M2.5x5, so I take that back. There are some small ones. Yeah, 2x3s are the small ones. Same size as the small screws that were holding the keyboard in. So we have two different screw sizes to deal with. And I'm just looking for all the ones that are marked with a P. This one's in pretty good, so I'll probably, there it is. I got that. That's like countersunk. Okay, some of these are definitely countersunk, and you're not going to get them out if your screwdriver's not magnetized. So pretty close. I think there's one more left after this. This is another one that's pretty deep down in there. I'm going to shake that out after. Now, there's one in here. Yep, there's one in there. Okay. I'm going to turn this over and shake that one out. That's one of those ones that's stuck in there pretty good. So what you're seeing is what really happens, right? When you're refurbishing laptops and you're changing out CPUs. Things break, things get stuck. You know, sometimes you have to drill screws out. That's really part of the process. Now I'm going to close this up. That screw still hasn't come out, but that's all right. It's going to come out in the not too distant future. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I have to take out this DVD burner. I got one screw here. I got one screw at the bottom of the DVD burner, and then it just pushes out. Pretty much how every laptop does it. Okay. All right. Now, yeah, I have two more screws underneath where the DVD burner was for the palm rest. So that wasn't going to come out with those screws still in. So that's one. And that's two. I think these are the 2.5x5. Yeah, those are 2.5x5. the standard size screw. You see so many of them. All right. This actually has 2 hard drive screws in it. You don't always see, but we're going to pull the hard drive. Okay, so there's one. Where the hard drive is, I got 2. It'll take 4, but this one has 2 in it. A lot of times they don't have any. More often than not. So that's one. And that looks like a 2.5 by 5. And there's 2. These might just be the regular laptop hard drive screws. Okay, now there's a catch down here, okay, with an arrow on it. You know, push that arrow down, and this hard drive in its caddy is going to get released right out the side of the laptop. Okay, so we have the DVD burner drive out of the way, and we have the hard drive out of the way. Okay, just in case that gets in our way when we go to get that CPU out. Now I'm looking for a couple more palm rest screws. I believe, yeah, there's one more here in the very corner, countersunk. .5 by 5. And there's one other. Here it is. There's one other right here. 2.5 by 5. On the M4600, these screws are a little bigger, but on the 4700, that's just a 2.5 by 5. Now, we should be getting pretty close to lifting this palm rest out. I guess I'm going to undo the connectors here. I got 3 connectors. 1, 2, 3. Same thing. 0 insertion force. ZIF connectors. Pull that out. Pull that out. Pull that out. Now I believe I can just start lifting off this palm rest. I got all the screws. It's going to come out. I may have missed one over here. Let's see what I missed. It's a little tight here because there's a card reader over here. Let me get the card reader out. There's just a swap for the card reader. There's no card reader. But I think it's just tight there. Let's work our way around that, see what we get to. Okay. I believe the resistance that I'm getting here is from this screw that's not really considered part of the palm rest. That's actually part of the CPU core. And that's for the video card. That's not what's holding me up. Let's find out what's holding me up. I'm really stuck right here, so let's go underneath and see what's holding that up. Now that one screw that I couldn't get at before, it's finally out. I got the one palm rest one out, the P. There's a second one inch away from it. That's the one that I didn't take out. That's what's holding this up. Okay. Now, this is what you run into when you're taking apart laptops, right? Okay, see that comes up now. That's coming up. Now, that's the whole thing. There it is. Okay, the palm rest is off. Here's our CPU, the cooler, CPU fan. Here's our video card fan. These things are equipped with very hefty video cards. You can pretty much do gaming with them. I got to tighten the one back down that I loosened earlier. I thought was holding up the palm rest, but it wasn't. All right, so we've got the display cable running along here, and I gotta just lift that off to get this fan out. There's that. Now, I don't think I can just lift out the CPU cooler, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if I can. I think I have to remove that fan. But let's see. Okay. All right. I have it lifted up. I don't have it out all the way, but I believe I have enough room to get the screwdriver in there and replace that CPU. Okay. Now, let me see if I get that out, because if I get that out, I'm going to let you guys know what all of this is about. And that's out, okay? The i5 is out. Oh. Reset everything down here. Now, I can chip up like that, that's fine. I got this i7. Now, main thing about this i7 is it's a quad core, okay? It's a 4-core. Now I'm going to tell you why I'm going through all this trouble. Because with this i7 4-core, I can take this Dell Precision M4700 from 8 gigs of memory all the way up to 32 gigs of memory. You can't do it with the i5 in there. It'll max out at 16 gigs. So that's what's going to make this a really super high performing mobile desktop. So it'll do what a desktop can do. Okay. Third gen i7 quad core. Okay. Nice clean CPU. We'll put some new grease on that. So here's our key indicator right here. There's our key. right? That triangle in the corner. That's what's going to show us how to line this up. Okay, that's going to go in the corner that's notched. This is going right down in, nice and clean. Okay. The quad core i7 is in there. I'm going to grab some grease and put some grease on that. Some thermal compound. Okay. All right. We go inside the toolbox. Get the thermal compound. Spread the thermal grease right around in here. Somewhat generously. It's a mobile CPU. You want to have a decent amount of thermal grease in there. It's going to keep chipping up with the weight of the... Okay. Now, make sure I'm not getting thermal grease all over everything. So, this will clean right up with hand sanitizer. Okay. Everything that's on will come right off with this hand sanitizer. All right, I got hand sanitizer right over here. I'm banging into everything because I'm a bull in a china shop. All right. So, I clean everything right up. I don't want to get that all over this laptop. That's happened to me more often than not, but I mean, it does just clean up at the end. Okay, so that CPU is in. 4 tensioners, hold it down. Just get them started. That was 3. Here's 4. All right, so I'll snug this one down. Snug this one down. I'm just doing them across from each other, much as you would do lugs, lug nuts on a car. You just go diagonally across. Okay, that's all snug down. Put this tape back down for the display. Okay, that's all taped back in. Okay, Looks good. Now, did I forget anything? I think not. I think we can just put this back on. We do the reverse of the first. You gotta kind of edge the front edge in first for whatever reason. Get that under that front lip. And the back will end up popping in a little bit at a time. There's that edge. That's in tight. There's that edge. That's in tight. So what I want to do, otherwise it's easy to forget, I want to put in the 2 screws that go underneath the DVD drive. Because it's very easy to forget them. One. That's nice and snug. There's 2. So we're starting that off nice. That got the palm rest down in there snug. Now the DVD burner is going to go back in here with its 1 screw. That's back in place. Very nice. So let's do the hard drive. That's upside down. Beautiful. That's back in place. I set the 2 hard drive screws aside over here. Now, keep in mind that this hard drive is going to get upgraded to a 2 terabyte. So there's those 2 screws diagonally across from each other. Okay, let's get the other 2 5x5 screws from underneath. There's 1 in this corner. It's countersunk for the palm rest. That's snug. And then there's 2 over here, a couple of inches apart from each other, right side by side. That's these 2. All right. Here's those. Now, let's reconnect these cables. Here's this little power cable. We have the touchpad cable. I don't find doing these cables joyful. Okay, I believe we're all connected with those three. Now it's a matter of getting these top cables, Palmer screws in. There's a P here. It's labeled P. It's labeled 2.5 by 5. There's a P down here. It's a small one. It's labeled 2 by 3. There it is. Now, keep in mind, there's another 2 by 3 next to it. Okay, that's for the keyboard. So we're going to look all around for everything with a P, and then we're going to look to see if it's 2.5 by 5 or if it's 2 by 3. That's a 2.5 by 5. Okay. I'm not fast forwarding through this because finding all these screws is part of the process. 2.5 by 5. What do we got next to here? Okay. There's a little 2 by 3. Okay. There are two sizes here. There's a little 2 by 3. Okay, I'm finding a couple more. So there's 1, 2, 3 more. 3 more 2 by 3s. Let me pull these up so I can spot the little ones. There's a 2 by 3. One. Two. Two. Three. So this is the very boring part of the video, obviously, watching me do this. But if you're going to do this, this is literally what you're going to go through. You know, it's not just blink, blink, blink. Fast forward through this part. Because sometimes, if you're like me, this is not the easy part. You can't just take this for granted, especially those damn ZIF connectors. There's nothing ziffy about them. So, all right. I got one at the very corner here that's a 2.5 by 5 on the outside corner, just outside of where the keyboard goes. It's countersunk. It's down in there pretty deep. Okay. That one went in with just a couple of turns. Okay, 2.5 by 5. And there's another 2.5 by 5. And another 2.5 by 5 sunk down. So what I want to do is I'll be off camera for a second here. Not that you guys care. But that one that wouldn't come out and then fell out, I need to see if it's nearby down here. If not, I'll grab another one out of the drawer. There's so many screws that are falling down here. Yep. Another part of the job. You're going to drop screws. Everybody I know that does this, they drop screws. So right underneath my foot is the one that fell during the job. Okay. It's always nice when you're starting in with the same number of screws. Doesn't always happen. Might even venture to say it hardly ever happens. So anybody that wants to obviously can fast forward through a lot of parts of this video. But there's little tidbits of good information scattered all throughout. Okay, so now we're going to put 16 gigs of memory in the top here before we put the keyboard in. Okay, right here where that Dell swap protector was. Now I'll show you something on the memory. So with DDR3, there's a couple of types of memory. You have DDR3 and you have DDR3L. Now, we want let me see what I got here. I got 16 gigabytes of DDR3L. And I got 16 gigabytes. I believe this is just plain DDR3. No, this is the L. Okay, DDR3L. I don't know what you guys can see. I know I need to get a better camera. DDR3L. Now, what I want to tell you is this particular laptop does not require the L. It doesn't require the low voltage. These will work on the 1.35 volts. However, they'll also work on the 1.5 volts. So if you get the L can work in anything. If you have the regular 1.5 volts, it cannot work in the 1.35 volt the L's. Okay, that's the way it works. L's work in everything. The regular DDR3 doesn't work in the L's, in the low voltage ones. So these are L's. This is another reason why I wanted people to keep watching the video, because the information is, you know, mixed in the boring parts. The boring parts have some of the good information. Now, let's see if I can do this without swearing too much, because I really hate connecting these connectors. This is another zero insertion force connector. And this little clip that makes the friction for it to go in isn't coming up out all the way. I have to get a regular flathead screwdriver. If anybody watching knows a better way to do these goddamn connectors, I'd be more than happy to listen. Because every time I watch a video, they just fast forward through it like think, think. And me, I swear at the Almighty, as I'm doing these damn connectors. See, because this just slid the ever loving F right back down. This effing connector won't stay up in order for it to not have the force on it for me to put some other effer in. That's not all the way the F down in. There's just not enough swears in the vocabulary to bitch about putting this motherfucking shit in. Now that should be square, but the last thing on earth I'm going to do is trust it, so we're going to boot this up before I screw this all in, trusting that that cable's in correctly. Now, I may be forgetting something, since that'll be a reason why this isn't powering on. Do I have this wedged in all cockamamie? Would that keep this from powering on? Let's see what's going to keep this from powering on. Try it with the battery. Take this battery out. Try replacing this memory. This is what you're going to run into when you do these lovely little gems. All right. Let's replace that. Let me take some normal DDR3. I think this is one of the ones that was originally in here. Now, let's see what's going to happen, because it lights up for a quick second, as you can see. See that? If I plug this in, that lights up right there. I'm not 100% sure what that is. That's lighting up. But now the fact that this isn't even coming on could be an issue with that new CPU. Disconnect this. Disconnect this. Disconnect this. Does it want to come on now? See, this isn't even turning on. Okay, mystery solved. Okay, for everybody watching, right here is the power switch connector. Okay. Yeah, it makes it tough to turn on when you don't have that connected. Okay. That's going to make all the difference. Now this just means I have to deal with these effing connectors twice. If I made a resolution not to swear, it wouldn't work when I'm dealing with these connectors. So yes, all I'm doing is fucking around with these goddamn fucking connectors. Not anything worth watching. I have to see if this piece of shit ended up upside down. God help me trying to tell which end the pins are at, because I can't. If I have this right side up or upside down, there's no fucking telling. So I'm sure you're tuned in to watch a guy get bullshit at connecting pins. Attempting to connect fucking pins. Jesus motherfucking Christ. Goddamn fucking shit-eating Christ. Christ, the goddamn motherfucking cocksucker. Jesus, suck my dick, fucking Christ. How in the name of Christ the cocksucker can this be this fucking difficult? Ass-eating motherfucking shit-eating fucking Christ the goddamn fucking shit-ass motherfucking dick sucker. Sucking on Mother Mary's fucking twat. Christ, all shit-eating mighty. Mr. Cow. Yeah, I'm over here fighting and swearing with a computer.
Oh, it's always helpful.
I'm literally in the middle of making a YouTube video about this. I'm taping this. I'm making a video, and
I had to have you want to come over and show me some tricks and trades of my of the computer when you have some free time.
Well,
I'm always want to learn a little something.
Yeah, if I got any tidbits for you.
Yeah, well, why don't you do that? If you don't work, give me a call when you're done. I'll be just hanging out in Providence.
Oh, okay. I've been trying to get in touch with Linda. I no longer have a number in my phone.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll bump into her somewhere or something, but I definitely got to get that ball rolling.
Yeah, I talked to Jeff about it. I let him know what you're up to, and all he said was, "Oh, I call Linda. She never calls me back." So.
Yeah, I'm gonna check to see if I have to go through her husband. I'll call him. I don't like him. He makes me mad. Principles before personalities, right?
Yeah, apparently. I mean, he was my sponsor at one time. I talked to him the other day, and it was kind of a lengthy conversation. I was going to ask him for Linda's number, but then, yeah, I kind of backed out of popping the question.
Yeah, I don't mind asking him about that. I mean,
no, that's fine. When I called him, he felt good. He's like, somebody in Massachusetts is checking up on me. I didn't have
where's he at again now? Florida?
He's in Florida, yeah. He's along the Tampa coast there. Tampa St. Pete area.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the heart to tell him that I was calling to get Linda's number. You know what I mean? He thought I was calling to check up on him.
All right. I hear you. Yeah, well, he'll know I'm not calling to check up on him. So I don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
If I remember that, cause I'm on the highway now, I'll try to give him a call later on. But give me a call when you finish your work, cause I'm not working right now. I don't want to hold you up.
All right.
Just give me a call whenever you get some free time. And nothing important. I just want to call and talk to my buddy. I haven't talked to him in a few days. You know me.
Yeah. No, I'll give you a buzz and yeah, we'll see what's going on. I'll figure out where you're at computers and what kind of help you can use. So that's fine.
All right. That works for me, buddy.
All right. I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right.
I love you, Pete.
Love you too. Bye. Okay. So that's how it's going. I'm recording this, good, bad, and indifferent. I'm not cutting anything out. I don't have a video editor. So, all right. What we're going to do now that the power connector is connected, we're going to plug this back in because I want to make sure everything is good. Like what happened with the power cable, right? The power button cable. So this should take a minute to come on, even if everything's good, because it's going to figure out that it's got a new CPU. You know, it's going to say, what's going on here? This doesn't look the same as the last time I powered up. Yeah, so we'll give him a minute. He's going to go through a couple of contortions. The memory's in the top slots now. It used to be in the bottom slots. He's got a lot to figure out now. He's probably going to power cycle himself. This is what you call memory learning. He's learning what he's got for memory, because it ain't the same as what he had before. He's got 16 gigs in the top slots now. He had 8 gigs in the bottom slots before. So right now it's looking by these lights that he's still on, but he's figuring out what's going on. So let's give it a minute. See if it doesn't power cycle and retry itself. If it doesn't, I'll power cycle it and help it along with the process. I'll actually pull the power cord out. So not quite sure what those flashing lights are indicating. But you usually give it about 30 seconds for it to post when it has new memory. Not only does this have new memory, but it also has a new CPU. So I'm gonna pull power on it. Okay. And we're gonna help it along here. We're gonna give it another boot. Those fans are going full tilt, full speed ahead. We should see the Dell logo popping up pretty soon here. Unless I didn't get the CPU seated. It's been known to happen. But let's see. Now, the other thing I want to do, I jumped right into the 16 gigs up here, right? I'm going to go back to the 4 gigs down at the bottom. Give it something easy to start on. Okay? This is something easy for them to get going with. Okay, let's just start it up with the 4 gigs here. This is going to be a real lengthy video with a lot of horse crap. I mean, that's the kind of shit that happens. Let's see if it likes the 4 gigs. So I think it's getting stuck on that CPU. The CPU was a little clinky going in. But it did seem to seat okay. I'm going to pull this. I would say it's struggling. I'm getting pretty pissed off here going for the simple fact that this means I have to keep fucking with these goddamn fucking connectors. That's the miserable part about this particular model, is 90% of laptops, especially Dells, you don't have to go through all this horse shit. You take the bottom off, the CPU's right there. So if you got one of these, they're a great laptop, but congratulations on having a piece of miserable crap as far as changing out the CPU. So when I reseat the CPU, before I screw anything back in, and I mean anything, I'm going to make sure this fires up all the way. You know, I get the Dell logo and everything like that. I don't know if I got to take the hard drive out necessarily, but when I get this CPU out, sometime before the end of the day, I might just put the i5 in there quick. Make sure it fires up on the i5. Yeah, this is one long ass video. I've kind of forgotten that the video is running, but you guys have the luxury of fast forwarding and skipping through. You can see a lot of watch things go wrong here. Now, the reason I'm videoing this is I've done this plenty of times and haven't ran into this kind of horseshit. So, what I want to do really is now something screwed in down here. Those are both out. Anything for the palm down there? Shouldn't be. There it is. That's all. What is this flapping around? What the fuck is flapping? Jesus fucking Christ. What in the shit-eating fuck Christ is this? Speakers. So this is the first time since I've ever done any of these 4700s that the goddamn fucking speakers fell the fuck out. It's unbelievable. All right, I got another 4700 armrest down here. So let's see, because that's just the biggest load of dog shit you're ever gonna look at. Here's one right here. And the shit's not all broken on it. Except for I don't know if this is a 4700 or 4600. Should say on here. And of course the douchebag doesn't fucking say. Which one is this? Yeah, this is the 4600. You can't make this shit fall off if you try. That one managed to. Fucking asshole. All right. Well, I know what that other speaker is now. Fuck you. This screwdriver. Pull this out. Take a look. Did anything bend? Nothing appears bent at first glance here. Set it down here. Yeah, it's just the piece of crap that I took out of it. Come on. This is enough to piss off the Pope. There's no more, let's say. All right, go fuck yourself. Does this have memory in it? Yeah. Where's this shitty fuck nut? Jesus fucking dick eating cunt fucking Christ. What a shit eating Christ is this fucking flashlight? All right, it comes on with this CPU. I'm not gonna fuck with that ass white keyboard. And that piece of shit fucking zippity dude, fuck me. Fucking zip connector. Here's a nice USB keyboard. Now, I gotta connect. So, fuck out of the way, asshole. I'm gonna look and see what this i5 CPU is. down to about that's a 3320. Okay, now the one that's going in up. 3320M. 3320M. I'm looking for CPU upgrade right there. There's the list of everything that it can upgrade to. And where is this one? Where did I put that fucking asshole flashlight? Christ, oh fuck's sakes, mighty. SROUV. SROUV. Nope, that ain't it. SR. I think it's SR0 UV. Stuck a number in the middle of all those letters. Yeah. I73740. I73740 QM. Yeah. That's supposed to work in there. Okay. Let's see if I had an issue if I didn't seat that right. Okay. I'll lift this out. Everybody's saying Yahoo. Hip hip hooray. I gotta lift this out. Okay. The speakers staying put. We'll stick some glue on that at the end here. Now, lift this CPU out. So that CPU is supposed to work. Now, maybe somebody sold me their dead crap on eBay. But let's find out. Okay. It's not really seating down in real well. Exactly. No. not going to connect anything else back up. I just need the on-off switch. This loves to fight the fuck out of me. This piece of shit fucking connectors. All right, that's in. Power this on with the i7. Okay, that got it. So it was a seating issue with the new CPU. I did a great job of making life miserable on myself. All right. I mean, the second time I seated it ain't much different than the first time, other than I did press it down a little bit the second time I seated it. Okay, so now it has the i7 CPU, even though it shut itself down while it was booting Windows, which isn't a good sign. It might be overheating. Let's see. I don't. It's not. It's not torqued down. I need some more thermal compound. It's not a bad amount that's on there, but it's not torqued down. Okay, so it's powering on. It's lighting up. It's posting. However, the CPU core is not fully seated. It may be overheating. Because this isn't making contact with the CPU. Now this i7 is definitely going to run hotter than that i5 was running. All right, it's saying that there was a thermal incident. That's to be expected. That CPU cooler was just sitting on there. It wasn't torqued down at all. All right. So that's why it shut down both those times. All right. I don't have the mouse pad or the pointer or the cursor connected now. let's do 16 and 4 on the bottom is 20 gigs of RAM. Okay, let's do 20 gigs of RAM. Different amount of memory here. F1 to continue. Alright, it's not going to really like the idea that I just pulled power on it and didn't do a proper shutdown, which is fine. We're not keeping this hard drive anyway. Okay, there's that. One last thing to go. And we'll button this up. Thanks for the amazing battle royale. What a nice fight. Let's see what we got here. Okay, here's another 16 gigs of memory. Let's put this away. Oh, that one just slid the fuck out of here. $16 and 16 is 32. All right. There's the full load of RAM for this. Now, because the i7's in here, we should be able to work off of it. 32 gigs of RAM. It's going to tell us the amount of system memory has changed. As long as it sees all of that memory, it's going to be a beautiful thing. F1 to get past that message. And there it is. There's Windows. Okay. That's what we wanted to see. All right. We can put this together the way it is. So you got to see the whole show. Pretty much, I won't say every possible problem, but you got your money's worth. There was plenty of problems. This piece of shit chair is stuck. Okay, I'm gonna lift this up. I'm gonna tip this forward. Now if those speakers stay put, I guess I'm better off just leaving them alone as opposed to super gluing them. Because I do believe they are snapping into place. All right. The power switch is connected. I got thermal grease mess over here in the corner, but that's fine. That's what the final cleanup's for. We slide this one down in till it connects. So, if you're having a deja vu watching this, I don't know how many times this has been that I'm putting this damn palm rest back on. All right. Everything works. We don't need the flathead. We don't need the pry tool. There's the i5 that came out of it. There's the flashlight. This is going to be a 2-hour video. Most of it dealing with bullshit. And it happens. It definitely happens. I'm putting the 2 screws in underneath the DVD burner. I'm putting the DVD burner in. I didn't take the hard drive out. As far as the palm rest, I'm putting the 1, 2, three palm rest screws underneath. I am yeah, we powered this on with the 32 gigs. All right, this is quite a bit. Adding all that extra RAM, taking everything apart. There's a pretty full load of stuff to change. So you guys can skip through this, you know, putting the screws back in. You've seen that more than I care to talk about. 2.5 by 5s and 2 by 3s. Basically, the tiny ones and the medium-sized ones, as far as laptop screws go. By 5. So it looks like those speakers are going to stay in place. There's really no place for them to go. What do I got here? 2 by 3. 2 by 3, 2 by 3, 2 by 3. 1. It was really nice to have the new CPU not work the first time it got put in. There's nothing I enjoy more than taking all these screws out. So that was really nice. Okay, I'm doing these 2 by 3s. 2.5 by 5, 2.5 by 5. This one never came up. It stayed right in its place there. All right. It's torqued down. I got two left. 2.5 by 5. .5 by 5. Right here. Ooh-wee. Whew. All right, this is with everything connected. Let's see what happens. Then we'll screw the keyboard down. Windows probably won't be happy. All right. Well, lucky for you guys, you can just skip through, you know. Just skip through till you get to the reasonable parts. Everything's good here. Cursor works. Touchpad works. We got 32 gigs of memory in here. Keyboard works. There's 32 gigs of memory. Size hard drive is this? $125 gigabyte. Oh, yeah, there's a much bigger one going in here. All right. Now we can do. So the 1 gigabyte hard drive is no big deal. I may not make a video for that, or I may make a separate video for that, but that's really nothing. You know, what we did here is all the work. This is quite a bit of an upgrade. We went from 8 gigabytes of memory to 32, and we went from a Core i5 dual core to a Core i7 quad core. That's quite a bit of upgrading. So I got the 4 screws at the bottom of the keyboard. They're going back in. Here's the third one. Here's the fourth one. Out on the edge. Keep that corner down. These also have clips, so make sure everything's clipped down. This is pretty much rubberized along the back. It sits up against those speakers. Here's the bezel. Now, there's the CPU grease. Okay, I'll flip this over. We're finally back to here. Slide that in place. Put the 2 screws in. Now you could put the 3rd screw in that holds the lever for the hard drive. That's one of those M2x3s. I have more in the drawer. I don't always worry about putting that screw in. I gotta get this second one in here. Whew. All right. It gave us a bit of a run for the money. I've got to close this up. This has the CPU grease. Here's the new battery. Well, that's the original battery. It's a Dell. Flip that. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to replace this. Yeah. We're going to replace the Windows 7 and we're going to replace the Core i5 with Windows 10 and Core i7. There's Core i5. Here's Core i7. Take out the Windows 7 badge. Put in the Windows 10 badge. Where's Windows 10 hiding? There's the i7s. There's the Windows 10s. There's Windows 10. All right, everything's set. Okay. I can't believe anybody's followed along this long on this video. And there you have, God bless you. It's been an adventure. So we got the CPU working on the second try. We got all the memory working. We got the speakers put back in place. Gave me a pretty good battle a lot of the ways, but we're up to 2 hours and 2 minutes, so that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you.